Hey friends, welcome back to Music with Miss Smith. So before we start our activity, I'm going to ask you to pull out a piece of scrap paper and either a pen or a pencil, some writing implement. Just FYI, musicians usually use pencil, but whatever you have will work. When you have those items ready, go ahead and stand in your own personal space and try not to be too close to any furniture. We will be moving around a bit today. Artist, physician, gymnast, musician, a dancer, cook, the author of a book. They all understand composition. What is it? Well, if I take a musical route, it could be the rhythm that I'm about. I make a plot for my story to frame the hero's glory. It would be confusing if I left things out. When you use words, you try on rhymes, verbs, look for the absurd, where the lines are blurred. And when you move, you gotta match the groove. Don't have to make it smooth if you feel in doubt. You build or draw, you make things big or small. Think about who to select for your fantasy football. You see, my point is that for anything that you craft, it's not a bad idea to make a plan or a rough draft. Making a composition or composing can mean many things. In music class, it will mean creating word chains, sounds, rhythms, and motions we arrange in patterns. Choose a basic element. To make an ostinato was a first step where you repeat a short pattern you learn to trust or decide to modify if it's a total bust. Plan. Consider using pen and paper. Jot down ideas you think might escape you. Omit anything that doesn't make sense. Don't worry. It's natural as you learn to invent. Save an idea, come back to it later. Edit what's clunky into something clearer. Just a few tips you might consider if you're a brave composer who is not a quitter. Start simple. The form A, B. We could make it longer by adding a C. In case you hadn't guessed, a letter represents a section. You know it by its particular expression. Take a pattern, idea you like, repeat it until it starts to flow, takes flight. If not, start again. Ideas can take a hike. When they do, they make space for inspiration to strike. Let's do it. We're gonna make your A section. So come up with a simple idea or pattern. Some of the basic elements you decide to use could be words or phrases that you speak quietly to yourself and rhythmically. Or you could come up with a movement or action or two that you repeat over and over to the steady beat. Once you feel comfortable repeating your element 4, 8, 16 times, you'll know you've got your ostinato going. I'll give you some time to come up with something now. Use your pencil or writing implement to make notes about your ideas, whether or not they're repeatable. Just have fun with it. Go ahead. Let's practice your A for 16 beats. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. How'd it go? Does it need a little bit more work? Take some time right now. We'll practice again in a moment. Alright, let's get ready to try our A section one more time. Here we go. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Alright, I bet you've got it. Let's make B. To do so, well, think about it with me. If you really loved your A, something similar could do. Exploring variation could work for you. So take your ostinato, change it up a bit, a little or a lot, it's up to you. But here's some thoughts. If it was small, you could make it smaller. Add levels or rests. change directions, it doesn't matter, as long as you're safe and giving it your best. Maybe you want something new. Exploring contrast could be the route for you. Your ostinato felt fast, try something slow. If for A you were high, for B go low. Or choose a new element before you move. Stand this time, but still keep the groove. There's nothing specific it needs to be. If it's safe and not A, it's good with me. So take some time now. You're going to come up with your B section. It can be similar to A with a variation, a slight change, or maybe a little bit of a bigger change, or a contrasting section with some very different feelings or very different basic elements. Don't forget that you can write things down, and if an idea doesn't work, start over and modify it, which means to change it, and then repeat it until the new idea feels like an ostinato. Go ahead. Practice our B section for 16 beats. Ready? 16 beats. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. How is it? Does it need some work? Take some more time and practice some more. All right, let's try our B section again. Here we go. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, we've got them, an A and a B. Time to put them together, and please feel free to rearrange them according to your fancy. Let's begin. Count it down with me. It's 4, 3, 2, 1. Here's A. Ready? Try B. Nice. Ready? Back to A. It's A. Ready? Here's B. Go B. Go back to A again. It's A. Ready? Try B here. Back to A. It's A. And B. Go again with A. Now B. And B. Extra challenge. Are you ready? Because here we go. A. B. A. B. A. B. A. B. Those are some fast changes, wouldn't you agree? So, friends, I hope that you had fun with that. Did you enjoy composing or being a composer? You already are a composer. So many of the instruments that you heard in that musical example were all in one specific instrument family. So there are some very broad or general instrument family categories. They are brass, string, percussion, and woodwind. So, which instrument family do you think it's from? If you guessed percussion, you're correct. Many of these percussion instruments are very popular in Latin American music. Here's some examples. We had a cabasa, a conga drum, bongo drums, triangles, claves, drum kits, and a piano. I want to give a quick shout out to Nathan and Reed from a couple weeks ago when I asked the question, who said this? Who's this quote by? Early to bed and early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. And they responded to me with the correct answer of Ben Franklin. Nice job, guys. If you found any part of this activity frustrating or challenging, would you let me know? Sometimes you can experience difficult emotions when you try something and it doesn't work out the way you planned. So, my advice for you in that situation is to understand that it's a part of a process of being a creator, to feel frustrated. But if you can keep trying, even though you're frustrated, you'll make progress as a creator. So I wanted to offer you some words from one of my favorite poets. She said, or she wrote, I make the most of all that comes and the least of all that goes. That's some great advice for when you're learning to compose. If we take the poet's words to heart with composition, it means we're going to try to make the most of an idea that comes our way. And then the things about it that we weren't good at or successful at, we're going to let go of them or maybe set them aside for further study later. Okay? So if you can figure out who wrote those words, let me know. Be curious to see if anyone can figure that out. And then the last thing is, I just want you to tell me about a time when you composed something. What's something you've composed? What's your favorite thing that you've composed? It doesn't have to be musical. It could be something like a gymnastics routine where you're thinking about the specific technical skills you're trying to demonstrate and then the flow of them from one move to another one. The composition of a team would depend on the sport you're playing. The composition of a recipe is not a word. The composition of a recipe has a lot to do with how your meal is going to turn out, right? So if you like to make an art or a craft type thing, think about how you're a composer when you plan the materials you're going to use, maybe markers, pastels, clay, felt. Think about how you're a composer as you visualize and design the art. You think about where you want to put things. If you were to draw a self-portrait, would you just leave your image floating out there in space, or would you put other things in the image around you to give it some context? That's going to be the composition of your portrait. If you like to read or write, think about how you make your favorite storytellers draw, or how your favorite storytellers draw you into the stories by putting events in a specific order or changing perspectives from one character to another. There's a lot of ways to think about composition. So again, let me ask you, what's your favorite thing that you've ever composed? If you're an OWL student, you can let me know by leaving a comment, a picture, a video on this assignment. Otherwise, you can email me at msmith@hcps.us. Take care, guys.